At 78 years old, I'm a widow living in the home my late husband and I built together over 50 years ago. My daughter-in-law Jessica convinced my son David that I was too old to live alone and needed to be put in a nursing home so they could sell my house and take the money. She forged my signature on property transfer documents, emptied my bank accounts, and had me declared mentally incompetent by a corrupt doctor she bribed. Jessica thought a frail old woman wouldn't have the resources to fight back. She was wrong. I'm a retired Superior Court judge who spent 35 years on the bench. This is the story of how I used my legal expertise to expose her fraud and destroy her completely. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you never miss revenge stories like this. My name is Margaret Eleanor Thompson, and I'm 78 years old. I live in the beautiful Victorian home in Portland, Oregon, that my late husband Richard and I purchased in 1972, 53 years ago. Richard died 4 years ago at 81 from a heart attack. We'd been married for 54 years. We raised 2 children in this house, our daughter Sarah and our son David. Before I retired at 70, I spent 35 years as a Superior Court judge. I presided over thousands of cases, criminal trials, civil disputes, family court matters. I knew the law inside and out. After Richard died, I continued living independently in our home. I was healthy, active, sharp-minded. I managed my finances, maintained the house, volunteered at the library, attended book club meetings. I was living a full life. My daughter Sarah lived in Boston with her family. We talked weekly and she visited twice a year. She always supported my independence. My son David lived 15 minutes away with his wife Jessica. David was a good son, but Jessica was something else entirely. Jessica was 39, 20 years younger than David. They'd been married for 8 years. From the beginning, Jessica made it clear she was interested in one thing: money. She constantly asked about my finances. "Mom, Margaret, how much is this house worth? Do you have a good retirement plan? Have you thought about your estate planning?" I always gave vague answers. My finances were none of her business. Then, 6 months ago, Jessica started a campaign to have me declared incompetent and moved to a nursing home. It started subtly. Jessica began telling David I was declining. "Your mother forgot our anniversary dinner last week," she'd say. I hadn't forgotten. She'd never told me about it. "She left her stove on yesterday. I had to rush over and turn it off." Complete lie. I hadn't used my stove that day. "She's getting confused. She asked me the same question 3 times. Never happened." David, trusting his wife, became concerned. "Mum, Jessica says you're having memory problems. Maybe we should get you checked out." "David, I'm fine. Jessica is exaggerating." But Jessica kept pushing. She convinced David I needed a competency evaluation. She found a doctor, Dr. Raymond Marsh, who ran a private practice specializing in elderly mental health assessments. What I later discovered was that Dr. Marsh had a reputation for declaring elderly patients incompetent if family members paid him enough. Jessica paid him $15,000 in cash. Dr. Marsh conducted a brief evaluation at my home. He asked me some simple questions, then declared I had moderate cognitive impairment and recommended I be placed in assisted living for my own safety. David, believing the doctor's assessment, agreed. "Mum, it's for your own good. We found a nice facility." "I don't need a facility. I'm perfectly capable of living independently." But Jessica had already set her plan in motion. While David was at work one day, Jessica came to my house with 2 men, a lawyer named Gerald Pierce and a notary. "Margaret, we need you to sign some papers. It's just routine estate planning documents." I refused. "I'm not signing anything without my own attorney present." Jessica's friendly demeanor vanished. "You don't have a choice. Dr. Marsh has declared you mentally incompetent. David has been appointed your guardian. These documents transfer your property to David for proper management." "That's illegal. You can't force me to sign anything." The lawyer spoke up. "Mrs. Thompson, the guardianship papers have been filed with the court. Your son is now your legal guardian." What I didn't know then was that Jessica had forged my signature on documents stating I consented to the guardianship. She'd also forged my signature on property transfer documents. Within 2 weeks, Jessica had emptied my bank accounts. Over $340,000 in savings. She sold my car. She packed up my belongings. She moved me into a nursing home against my will. David went along with everything, believing it was for my own good. I was trapped in a nursing home, my assets stolen, my independence destroyed. My house, worth $850,000, was next on Jessica's list to sell. Jessica made one critical mistake. She underestimated me. Yes, I was 78. Yes, I was grieving my husband. But I was also a retired Superior Court judge with 35 years of legal experience and connections throughout the Oregon legal system. From the nursing home, I contacted my former law clerk, Daniel Rodriguez, who is now a partner at a major Portland law firm. Daniel, I need your help. My daughter-in-law has had me declared incompetent through fraud, forged my signature on legal documents, and stolen my assets. Daniel was shocked. Judge Thompson, I'll be there tomorrow. Daniel visited me at the nursing home. I was sharp, articulate, and clearly competent. He immediately recognized the guardianship was fraudulent. Judge, this is elder abuse and fraud. We'll get you out of here and prosecute everyone involved. Daniel filed an emergency motion to invalidate the guardianship, have me independently evaluated by a reputable geriatric specialist, freeze all my assets, and investigate Dr. Marsh and Gerald Pierce for fraud. The motion landed in front of Judge William Patterson, a judge I'd mentored 20 years earlier when he was a young attorney. Judge Patterson granted the emergency motion immediately. I know Judge Thompson personally. She's one of the sharpest legal minds in Oregon. This guardianship is clearly fraudulent. Schedule an immediate hearing. Daniel conducted a thorough investigation. What he found was stunning. Dr. Raymond Marsh had declared 47 elderly patients incompetent in the past 3 years. He received cash payments from family members in 89% of those cases. He had 3 complaints filed with the medical board for fraudulent evaluations. He'd accepted $15,000 cash from Jessica to declare me incompetent. Gerald Pierce, the lawyer, specialized in quick guardianships for families. He'd been reprimanded twice by the state bar for ethical violations. He helped Jessica forge my signature on multiple documents and notarized documents without proper identification verification. Jessica's plan was detailed and deliberate. She'd researched how to get elderly parent declared incompetent online. She found Dr. Marsh through a recommendation from a friend who'd done the same thing to her mother-in-law. Bank records proved the $15,000 cash withdrawal. Forensic analysis proved my signature was forged on 11 different documents. She'd emptied my bank accounts by forging my signature on withdrawal slips. She planned to sell my house and keep all $850,000. Daniel also had me evaluated by Dr. Sarah Chen, a respected geriatric psychiatrist. Dr. Chen's evaluation was comprehensive and conclusive. Margaret Thompson is cognitively intact, mentally competent, and fully capable of independent living and managing her own affairs. There is no evidence of dementia, cognitive impairment, or diminished capacity. The previous evaluation by Dr. Marsh was either grossly incompetent or deliberately fraudulent. The hearing took place 3 weeks later. Jessica, David, Dr. Marsh, and Gerald Pierce were all present. Judge Patterson called the hearing to order. This court will determine whether the guardianship of Margaret Thompson was obtained through fraud. Daniel presented the evidence. Dr. Chen's evaluation proving my competence, bank records showing Jessica's $15,000 cash payment to Dr. Marsh, forensic document analysis proving my signatures were forged, Dr. Marsh's history of fraudulent evaluations, and Gerald Pierce's ethics violations. I also testified. Standing in the courtroom where I'd once presided as a judge, I spoke clearly and forcefully. Your Honor, I am 78 years old, and I am completely competent. My daughter-in-law, Jessica, orchestrated a fraud to steal my home and my life savings. She bribed a corrupt doctor to declare me incompetent, forged my signature on legal documents, and had me imprisoned in a nursing home against my will. She did this because she wanted my money. I am asking this court to invalidate the guardianship, prosecute everyone involved, and restore my property and assets. Judge Patterson was furious. Dr. Marsh, did you accept $15,000 in cash from Jessica Thompson? Dr. Marsh stammered. That was a consulting fee. You took a bribe to declare a competent woman incompetent. Mr. Pierce, did you notarize documents without proper verification? Pierce looked terrified. I believed the guardianship was legitimate. Judge Patterson ruled from the bench. The guardianship is void. It was obtained through fraud, bribery, and forgery. Margaret Thompson is hereby restored to full legal capacity. All property and assets are to be returned immediately. I am referring Dr. Raymond Marsh to the State Medical Board for license revocation and to the District Attorney for criminal prosecution. I am referring Gerald Pierce to the State Bar for disbarment and to the District Attorney for criminal prosecution. Jessica Thompson is referred to the District Attorney for prosecution for elder abuse, fraud, forgery, and theft. The District Attorney filed criminal charges against all three. Dr. Raymond Marsh was charged with 47 counts of fraud, accepting bribes, and conspiracy to commit elder abuse. He lost his medical license permanently. He was sentenced to 8 years in state prison and ordered to pay $2.3 million in restitution to his victims. Gerald Pierce was charged with multiple counts of fraud and forgery, conspiracy to commit elder abuse. He was disbarred permanently. He was sentenced to 5 years in state prison and ordered to pay $180,000 in restitution. Jessica Thompson was charged with elder abuse, fraud, 11 counts of forgery, grand theft over $340,000, and conspiracy. She was sentenced to 12 years in state prison and ordered to pay full restitution plus damages. David was not charged criminally. Prosecutors determined he'd been manipulated by Jessica and genuinely believed I needed help. But he was devastated. Mum, I'm so sorry. I trusted Jessica. I thought I was helping you. I should have questioned everything. I was angry. But David was my son. You were manipulated, but you should have listened to me when I said I was fine. David divorced Jessica while she was awaiting trial. I also filed a massive civil lawsuit seeking $5 million in damages. Dr. Marsh's malpractice insurance settled for $1.8 million. Pierce's insurance settled for $800,000. The nursing home settled for $400,000 to avoid bad publicity. Total civil recovery, $3 million. I donated $2 million to a legal aid organization that helps elderly people fight guardianship abuse. I kept $1 million for myself, compensation for what Jessica put me through. Jessica is now 4 years into her 12-year sentence. She'll be released when she's 51, with a felony record, no career prospects, and a permanent judgment against her. Any money she ever earns will be garnished for the rest of her life. Dr. Marsh is in prison, his medical career destroyed forever. Gerald Pierce is disbarred and in prison, his legal career over. I'm 78 years old, still living independently in my home. I'm healthy, active, and sharper than ever. I've also become an advocate for elder rights. I give speeches at legal conferences about guardianship abuse. I've helped draft legislation to reform guardianship laws in Oregon. Guardianship abuse is one of the fastest-growing crimes in America, I tell audiences. Corrupt doctors, unethical lawyers, and greedy family members target elderly people because they think we're vulnerable. But age doesn't mean helpless. I'm a retired judge with 35 years of legal experience. Jessica learned that the hard way. David and I have rebuilt our relationship. He visits regularly, helps with house maintenance, and has been genuinely remorseful. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about sending my daughter-in-law to prison for 12 years. The answer is no. Jessica tried to steal my home, my money, and my freedom. She had me locked in a nursing home against my will. She bribed a doctor and forged legal documents. She deserves every day of that sentence. I'm 78 years old. I'm a retired Superior Court judge. I'm a widow who lost the love of her life. And I'm a woman who fought back when someone tried to steal everything I'd worked for. Jessica thought my age made me vulnerable. She learned that age brings wisdom, and wisdom combined with legal expertise is unstoppable.